Now, this is when Freud started to formulate his model of the mind. Uh, what happened was that initially, Freud only wrote till about here, this part. So this is actually an image of an iceberg, and it is today even called the iceberg model of the mind by Freud, because Freud used the analogy of an iceberg to explain the fact that the conscious mind that we are aware of is only the tip of the iceberg, but there's a lot going on beneath that may not be visible even to us, those who possess that mind. And so, in his initial analogy, he only had the conscious mind and the ego, which was pre-conscious or subconscious. So it was partly conscious and partly unconscious. So it was something that was we could be aware of, and we were also not aware of. It was part. So that's the reason why he called it a subconscious mind. Later on, he added the id and the superego, which he believed was completely beneath the water, completely beneath awareness. This was the unconscious mind, which was not at all in our awareness. We didn't know its existence. We know it operates within us because there are parts of ourselves that even surprise us, but there is no conscious awareness on a day-to-day basis of the fact that there is this unconscious mind. Now, these are the three different layers, and then within this layer, you have the id, which is basically what you're born with, the unconscious mind, the part of the mind that is completely free, completely primal, and completely devoted to fulfilling your desires. And then you have the ego, which tries to basically act as a cover for the id, because the id has a desire to, let's say, murder somebody. The superego steps in and says, no, no, that's not allowed by society. You cannot kill someone. And then the ego says, okay, id, we can't really murder somebody. The superego is right, but then superego, you also have to understand that the id really wants to do something about this negative emotion that it's feeling. So the ego steps in and says, okay, what about if we can have a dream or we can fantasize about it? That's a compromise between the superego and the id. And the ego kind of acts like a barrier or a bridge between two completely conflicting um, parts of our mind: the id, which wants to express itself constantly, and the superego, which wants to suppress the id constantly. The superego is mostly formed by your upbringing, your culture, your religion, societal pressures, rules and regulations of society that you've been taught. The id is pure human. It's pure instinct. It's pure, drives and phobias and fears and desires. So it's very raw. So the conscious mind is something you're aware of. So what are you aware of? You're aware of your thoughts. You know what you're thinking. You're aware of what you perceive. You know, through your senses, what you see, what you touch, what you feel, what you taste. So these are all coming from your conscious mind, something that you're aware of 24 hours a day. You are very conscious of every effort, everything that you're doing, all your actions, and also what you're thinking. So that's your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind is partly, like I said, conscious, partly it's below the awareness level. So it's memories and stored knowledge. So you're not aware of your memories every minute of every day. You're not aware of your stored knowledge every minute of every day. But if needed, these can be brought up from the subconscious mind into the conscious. So if you need to remember a certain thing that's suppressed in your subconscious mind, it can be brought to the conscious mind in case you need it. And finally, the unconscious mind. That's the part of you that you're not aware of at all, but determines a lot of your personality. So it's your fears, your violent motives, your unacceptable sexual desires, irrational wishes, immoral urges, shameful experiences, selfish needs. So this is very, very basic, raw stuff that you can't deal with every day on a day-to-day basis. So you keep pushing this back into the unconscious mind. This was basically Freud's model of the mind.